personal financial journey, and the markets around us. That's Dollars and Cents, Thursday afternoons at 4, here on WSIC.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Hello all, and welcome to the L Show, where the L in the L Show stands for leaning in, which means that we are not going to shy away from any subject, no matter how taboo or uncomfortable it may be. Subjects like menopause, sex and libido, menopause, dry vagina, hot flashes, mental health and depression, which makes you not want to have sex, how we look and how we feel. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I am the owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary, located here in beautiful Cornelius. We are a compounding pharmacy with a focus on functional medicine and a much more natural approach to your health. And for those who are not familiar with what compounding is where your pharmacist makes medications that are formulated in a specific dose and or in a specific dosage form that is unique to you. And not all compounds or compounding facilities are alike. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do, and you can definitely find out more about us by checking us out at our website, roserxboutique.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. The information presented on this show does not take the place of advice from your healthcare provider and may not be suitable for all audiences. Happy Friday to all of my viewers and listeners. And, I'm glad that it's Friday, but I cannot believe it's the fifth month of 2024. It's unbelievable how quickly this year is going by. But of course, I want to keep you guys in the know of what's going on. And the ongoing story is all about weight loss. We know there is something every day that's happening, something that's changing. But regardless, these weight loss medications will continue to be top of mind in the U.S., with more of them slated to coming onto the market, which could be a good thing from a cost perspective, because competition typically drives prices down, but I am no economist, because I do know that scarcity also drives prices up, and that balance is going to be very interesting. So before I left my store to come here today, Weight Watchers called. I was like, what? So the pharmacist who's there, Angie, she said, Weight Watchers is calling. I said, pick up the phone. And of course, they were looking for one of these medications. So clearly, there is a shortage. People are trying to get it, and any way that they can. I just think it's just this is the hottest topic. That is just, you Google it, you look at TikTok, Facebook. There's probably an ad, television, doesn't matter, right? So it's crazy. So here is something that people may not know. So there are retail pharmacy giants that have entered into the clinical trial arena. So there is currently a deal that was inked with Walgreens, and this is just in, that was inked with Walgreens and a major German drug maker. Their name is Boehringer. And this deal basically stipulates that Walgreens is going to find candidates who are overweight or have obesity or diabetes and connect them with the phase 3 clinical trial for the new GLP-1 drug that is called survodutide. So this drug has already passed trials for safety and effectiveness, but phase 3 trials, that part of the phase 3, what that means is they're just going to be comparing the efficacy against existing treatments. So they're going to be comparing themselves against the Ozempic, the Wegovy, the Mounjaro, the Zepbound. So once the phase 3 trial is complete, then the company can go and ask the FDA to review the medication. And then if it's approved, it is going to definitely be on the market competing against those that are already on the market. We know that CVS, Kroger's, Walmart have also had clinical trial units as part of their company structure. But the question of revenue stream, not quite sure. I think CVS got out of it, I think a few years ago, because it just was kind of an iffy with a financial piece of it. But that's one thing I think is very, very interesting, that we have more of these drugs that are coming on the market. And I mean, I think we need them. And at the very least, we know that those drugs that come on the market, then they will be available, right? And so we're not going to have the scarcity that we deal with, at least for a little while. So we don't know how long that'll last. But another thing, just really quickly, that I want to mention, because I had a conversation with someone this week concerning realistic expectations when they are taking these medications and the length of time that they're taking these medications, and also weight loss plateaus. So people take the medications for some amount of time, and then the next thing you know, they stop losing weight. So they slow down losing weight, they're not losing weight at all. So with any weight loss method, any healthy weight loss method, okay, whether it is a conventional diet, an exercise regimen, etc., you will always reach this point of the plateau. So the body is going to eventually settle at an appropriate weight, which may or may not correspond with the person's weight loss goals, right? So if somebody's 5'7" and they're, 130 pounds, they may say, I want to be 105 pounds. Well, your body at 5'7", that is not realistic, right? But again, the body, what it does is it starts to hold on to calories in order to preserve itself after it's reached that healthy weight for who you are, your body type. And so again, what is going on with a plateau? You're having your body is basically your energy burn is equal to the energy that you are consuming by food. So you're going to have that initial weight loss, and sometimes some people don't have the initial weight loss. They need to be titrated up. They need to have their dose increases. And there are times where people are at the top dose and they're still not having weight loss. Sometimes what can you do? You can try another medication, a much more powerful medication, or we could possibly do something like decreasing even further the things you put in your mouth, or increasing even further the exercise that you do. So again, I think it's important. One thing for people to always remember with these medications is that it is a lifelong commitment. And if you reach a plateau, you still may need to be on it if you are not going to change your lifestyle in order to not regain that weight once you stop taking it. That is my little spiel on weight loss at the beginning of our show, but we will continue talking about this, of course, because again, it's the hottest thing on the market. So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And a question for you. If someone asks you, how's your gut doing? What would be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation, chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish, those sorts of things? Well, remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut. The effectiveness of any therapy that you may be on is linked to how well your gut is performing. So if we can improve your gut, many of these issues that you think that you can do nothing about on your own can favorably respond. So take advantage of one of Rose Pharmacy's gut bundles that we can tailor specifically to your needs, because our goal is to help you get and stay on track with a much better quality of life. And with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle of supplements that we offer. And very few companies can offer you that. And mention that you heard about the Fixing Your Gut on the Elle Show or WSSC News, and we're going to give you 10% off your purchase. And feel free today to call the studio with questions or comments at 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. And when we are back from break, I'm here with a guest that was on the show during our Blue Zone series last year, because she is an example of what a healthy lifestyle and mindset can do to support longevity. Her name is Edie Raether. She owns Lake Norman Hypnotherapy and Coaching Center. She is a change strategist, best-selling author, TEDx and global keynote speaker, and brain trainer and inspiration for many. We are back with her at the other side of the break. See you then.
Here's more of the Elle Show on the way with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
One more really warm day on the way as we close out the work week. Upper 80s to near 90 this afternoon with a partly cloudy sky, and we'll have to keep an eye out for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, one or two of those, as we go into our Friday evening. Weekend weather does start to change a little bit. Outdoor plans will be tough for Saturday and Sunday, with scattered showers and a pop-up thunderstorm possible really at any point throughout the day, each day, and high temperatures will tumble a little bit in the upper 70s to near 80. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Listen, save, enjoy. The WSIC app, Available now in your app store.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday is opening night for Langtree Live. This free concert series begins a 17-week summertime run. Event start time is 6:30 p.m. with music from U2 tribute band Rattle and Hum beginning at 7. Grab your chairs and we will see you at Langtree in Mooresville on Thursday. Mark and Maggie O'Connor return to the Kane Center for the Arts Friday for a special performance in support of their new album, Life After Life. The upcoming album reveals the pair's most sincere and deeply personal work yet. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. with a showtime at 7:30. For more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Come celebrate May the 4th this Saturday at Ghostface Brewing Social District in Mooresville. There will be Star Wars-themed cosplay, memorabilia for sale, vendors, and themed music by the Langtree Charter Jazz Band. May the 4th be with you on Saturday at Ghostface. Friday and Saturday at Xenax Dragway in Concord is the Breakaway Music Festival Another World 2024. The festival begins at 4 p.m. on Friday and at 3 p.m. on Saturday with performances by Excision, Nightmare, Of the Trees, Sudden Death, Zomboy, and more. Details at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Community Singers of Lake Norman present Smokin' to a Motown Beat, a choral presentation of the sounds of Motown and rock and roll. Take a musical journey back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s with hits by the Supremes, the Four Tops, Stevie Wonder, Elvis, and more. The concert features highlights from Broadway shows Motown the Musical and Smokey Joe's Cafe, along with the Mooresville High School Honors Chorus. See you at the Mooresville Performing Arts Centers on May 5th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
You're listening to Dr. Nicole Eastman. It's the L Show on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello all, and welcome back to the L Show. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. I got a little tongue-tied there, but I'm only human. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And question for you. If someone asks you, how's your gut doing? What would be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation? Are you suffering from chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish, things like that? Remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut. The effectiveness of any therapy that you may be on is linked to how well your gut is performing. So if we can improve your gut, many of these issues that you think you can do nothing about on your own can respond quite favorably. So take advantage of one of Rose Pharmacy's gut bundles that we can tailor specifically to your needs, because our goal is to help you get and stay on track with a much better quality of life. And with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle of our supportive supplements that we offer, and very few companies can say that. Mention that you heard about fixing your gut on the L Show or on WSSC News, and we're going to give you 10% off your purchase. Please be sure to either call in with questions or comments today at 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. And we are here on the show with my fabulous and amazing guest, Miss Edie Raether. She is the owner of Lake Norman Hypnotherapy and Coaching Center. She is a change strategist. She is a best-selling author, a TEDx and global keynote speaker, and brain trainer, etc., etc., etc. Edie, thanks so much for coming back on the show.
It's always a joy. It's always a joy.
Thank you. Yes. So we had such a good time the last time that she was here. And for those of you who missed that series, it was on Blue Zones. You can find it on WSSC News. It was in our October series. But okay, Edie. So for those people who are listening who don't know who you are, who didn't see those shows or listen to those shows, tell us about your background and that sort of thing.
Background professionally, do you mean?
Let's talk about where you came from and then how we got where we are
I'm
today.
from Wisconsin. I went to the University of Wisconsin. Good old Badger fan. And started out as an occupational therapist and really only liked the psych part, or liked it best. and so got my master's in counseling. And then in the 70s, I've been around a long time.
I know. So let's go ahead and just
50
pause
years
there.
ago.
Let's pause there. So for those of you who can see Edie, how old are you?
I'm in my 81st year.
And for those of you who can hear her, she probably doesn't sound like she's 80, and she doesn't move like she's 80. She has more energy than probably all of us in the studio all put together. So anyway, sorry to interrupt.
And
but
I
had to
just got
say
back
that.
from Japan skiing several days in a row and
my
could have done
gosh.
another several. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know
Edie.
what? It goes back to the life choices I made when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think younger people just kind of forget that we're all mortal and do stupid things and eat stupid things, and especially with the addiction to dopamine, which you know my second TEDx talk is on. You know, the movement isn't there. I mean, people are just on their phones and feeding their addiction. And so I really believe, I look at other people, ex-husbands, whatever, my age, and they're spending most of their time at the doctor, and I'm spending my time in the slopes of Japan. You know what I mean? It's a choice. But you got to make it when you're a lot younger than 80.
So tell us about your practice. So you on your business card, it says brain trainer. Let's talk about that. What does that mean?
Well, you know, I do a lot with neuroplasticity in terms of creating new neural pathways in the brain. And I've been doing hypnosis for 50 years. Actually, I think I started in 1974. And back then it was like, ooh, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't even admit it. I would just say I'm doing visualization, mental imagery to make it more palatable. And I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the time, and it was really looked at as kind of like witchcraft. Well, the crazy thing is, here we are 50 years later, neuroscience is now proving everything I was doing 50 years ago. I did it because I would hypnotize people for not only weight, smoking, alcohol, but anxiety and depression. It was working. It was working. So why not do it? No negative side effects. The only side effect is that you're going to be more calm and relaxed and stress-free. Is that not a bad side effect?
That's a great side effect.
And so I did it because it worked. And now, years later, neuroscience is validating and explaining exactly why it does work. And it does. In fact, I'm a good example. I was a big binger in college. I mean, I remember eating, I was telling you, that was back when the half gallon of ice cream, remember, it was a bigger size.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember I was on an internship in Colorado, and I ate the whole thing. And I'm like, really? But I was not bulimic, just a compulsive eater. If I was happy, we celebrate, right? We associate it with the reward. As a child, you get an ice cream cone if you're good. Don't do that as a parent. Take them to the park. Don't reward them with junk food, okay? But number two was, you know, that, yeah, if we're rewarded for that. But stress, we often, under stress, some people eat less, but most people will eat more. And, you know, if I had an anatomy exam, oh man, you know, we had a walk-in refrigerator in the sorority house bigger than this room. And she was old, she'd forget to lock it. And I would just, you know, and so the thing was, but I was so active, I really wasn't looked at as being overweight. But the issue for all of us is that we're not in control, because I have found that once I get people in control of their eating and their habits of exercise, they're in control of all aspects of their life. They become more assertive. They take back their power in every aspect of their life. So at the core of everything we're talking about is the issue being in control. That is it. And when I started doing this, and I think it was 1974, every time I hypnotize somebody else, unless I'm a brick or a stone, I'm getting the benefit. My brain is taking it in. And so as I was hypnotizing and doing therapy for you, I was therapizing myself. And I would say today my habits are really quite good. Do I have a tablespoon of ice cream every night? Yeah, I do. But did you hear what I said? Not a scoop. Definitely not a bowl. A tablespoon. That's it. You know why? Because I'm a big believer, don't ever deprive yourself. Don't sacrifice
I agree
because
with
you're
you.
going to build up the urge and the craving.
Mhm.
And so I love ice cream. Now, it may take me 2 months to go through that half gallon. I can have it and I'm happy. I eat it slowly. I savor it. And I get so much pleasure. I get more pleasure from less and less and less food. And that's part of the things I want to talk about too. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense. And what you just said, I always stress. I am not a advocate of elimination diets because they're just not sustainable.
Right?
I even hate using the word diet. I prefer to say, okay, lifestyle. But again, like they're just not sustainable. So moderation, moderation, moderation. You still have the things that you like, but in much smaller quantities. So
And I love the fact that you don't use the word diet because, Nicole, the word die is in the word diet, and dying is loss. And when we feel a sense of loss, we want to fill the void. I remember doing a 1-credit paper in college on that, and Freud talked about that when we stuff ourselves, we're stuffing repressing emotions that need to the degree that we do not express, we depress. So if you're depressed, you got to get something out. And the other thing that came out of that paper is that we're often trying to fill a spiritual void. We're trying to solve the problem, but with the wrong methodology.
So the question that I would have for you, and this is something, of course, we're going to continue talking about on the other side of the break, is what is that process when somebody is they're coming to you and they're like, I have this particular issue, and you already mentioned when we fix this, typically it starts to spread to other areas of your life. But I really want to go through kind of what that process is. What do you do to help get someone under? Because we're talking about weight loss. Weight loss. I mean, we opened up the show with weight loss because that is the biggest
It is.
conversation going on right now is weight loss. So I really want to delve into how using what you do can assist people who are suffering from food addictions, who are suffering, and especially as we're aging and we're getting older and your hormones change and you're gaining weight, you're trying to figure out how to fix everything, right? But there's a mindset to it, and I want to really get into that when we come back from the break. So,
Oh, I got to wait until after
yes,
the break.
you do. Yes, you do. So listen, we love you, so you'll just have to come back multiple times. We'll get it all out. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you're taking too many medications, too many supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And a question, if someone asks you, how's your gut doing? What would be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation, chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish? Remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut. And if we can improve your gut, many of the issues that you think that you can do nothing about on your own can respond quite favorably. So take advantage of one of Rose Pharmacy's gut bundles that we can tailor specifically to meet your needs, because our goal is to help you get and stay on track with a much better quality of life. And with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle of the supportive supplements that we offer. And very few companies can offer you that. Mention that you heard about it on WSSC News or The L Show, and we're going to give you 10% off your purchase. Again, we'd love to hear from you today. Call the studio, 844-STUDIO-4. See you on the other side of the break.
Keep it right here. The L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
One more really warm day on the way as we close out the work week. Upper 80s to near 90 this afternoon with a partly cloudy sky, and we'll have to keep an eye out for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, one or two of those, as we go into our Friday evening. Weekend weather does start to change a little bit. Outdoor plans will be tough for Saturday and Sunday with scattered showers and a pop-up thunderstorm possible really at any point throughout the day, each day, and high temperatures will tumble a little bit in the upper 70s to near 80. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Cashback is not available. gas lights on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. New data shows U.S. homeowners are more diverse. The share of mortgages taken out by white homeowners has declined over the last 5 years, now to just 62% of all new loans, while Redfin says the shares taken out by Hispanic, Black, and Asian home buyers has moved up. U.S. job growth easing in April. 175,000 jobs were added. That's the fewest in 6 months. And the unemployment rate edged one notch higher. It's now 3.9%. But on Wall Street, stocks are seeing big gains today on hopes that a slowdown in the labor market and in wage growth could prompt the Federal Reserve to start cutting interest rates as early as this September, earlier than first expected. It's got the Dow up 500 points, 1 1/3% higher. The Nasdaq up more than 2%. The S&P up more than 1%. And Tennis Hall of Famer Billie Jean King, a 39-time Grand Slam champion, is finally appearing on boxes of Wheaties later this month. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Breaking the silence and shattering the stereotypes surrounding women aging. It's the Elle Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman on WSIC.
Welcome back to the Elle Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, too many supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And question, if someone asks you, how's your gut doing? What would be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation, chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish, etc.? Remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut. And the effectiveness of any therapy that you may be on is linked to how well your gut is performing. So if we can improve your gut, many of these issues that you think you can do nothing about on your own can respond quite favorably. So take advantage of one of Rose Pharmacy's gut bundles that we can tailor specifically to your needs, because our goal is to help you get and stay on track with a much better quality of life. And with Rose, there's a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle of the supportive supplements that we offer, and very few companies can say that. Mention that you heard about Fixing Your Gut on the Elle Show or WSSC News, and we're going to give you 10% off your purchase. And remember that you can call in the studio today with 844-STUDIO-4 or interact with us on social media as well with your comments and questions. Where we left off, I paused her We left off with Edie Raether. So she was talking about, hypnotherapy, and I was going to get into with her like that process. Someone comes in, they have this issue. Edie, kind of walk us through what that process is. Tell us about what it is, what the purpose is, that sort of thing, and then how it works, how it makes a change. Just go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's actually a very simple process,
Mm-hmm.
but very powerful, which shouldn't be all that surprising. And you were saying, I often picture the pendulum and
Yes,
stuff.
I've always thought about the pendulum that you see on the TV shows with people getting hypnotized.
Yeah.
Is that not it?
I don't use the pendulum, but it can work. It can
Okay.
be part of what we call the first phase is induction. So I look at it as two phases. Generally, I spend about 15 minutes on the induction. A lot of people cut that short. I don't like to do that. And then the second phase is about 15 minutes, sometimes even a half hour, of suggestions of where you're going to make the change. And so the reason hypnosis works, and I do mention this in my first TED Talk, Brain Fitness for Kids, Cloning the DNA of Einstein, because I've applied all of this to a children's character building program, I Believe I Can Fly. Anyway, we have to realize, and now Bruce Lipton and a lot of the research on neuroscience has proven the subconscious is 1 million times more powerful than the conscious mind.
So can I ask, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is the induction part of this, is that what's bringing you down to that level?
Yes.
And so that's, some people will spend less time, you said, doing it?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people say that they've gone to hypnotherapists and they've only spent like a few minutes. I just feel like it takes more to be safe. But anyway, so I do about 15 minutes of induction, and that is accessing the powerhouse of our being, which is subconscious mind, 1 million times more powerful. So I ask people, if you're going to dig a ditch and you have a choice of using a backhoe or a shovel, you're going to use the backhoe because you can get it done in minutes. The shovel might take months. And so if you're going to try to change without engaging the subconscious mind, if you only use the conscious mind, not bad, but you may die before you make the change happen.
You're using the shovel?
Yeah, you're using the shovel. Thank you. Yes. Why would you do that? Because what hypnosis does is it really is a magnifying glass to your efforts and your intentions. So if you want to lose weight, it magnifies it. So a lot of people with smoking, for example, they say, oh, I want to quit on my own. You are quitting on your own. You're just using a tool. It's like you using Chat GPT or something, us using the mic. Why not? So it's a tool. So what we do, I do about 15 minutes of relaxation techniques, what Lamaze method kind of stuff. We've had all different meditation, prayer-like state. So I just do, and we'll do a little sample of it later in the show. So I just do about 15 minutes of relaxation. And as we slow down our breathing, we slow down our brainwave activity. And we go from beta to alpha, maybe even theta, which is slower yet. I mean, flatlining is dead. We don't want to go there.
No.
That's going too far. We don't do that. But we slow it down. And that's and we bypass the buffers of the conscious mind, and it like almost opens a gateway so that we have access to the powerhouse of our being, the subconscious. So I look at myself almost like an electrician going in and rewiring your neural pathways. So, first we make our habits, and then our habits make us. We are what we repeatedly do, isn't it?
That's
so
true.
As a parent, getting your child to have good habits. Not every child loves sugar. I've got grandkids that just weren't brought up on it. They prefer, eating the baby carrots and things like, because that's what they know. It's all about habits. And so I go there and I make new suggestions that you will no longer want, need. That's the second part where I make the suggestions. You will no longer want, need, or desire to eat those foods that are high in calories, high in simple carbohydrates. You will feel no sense of sacrifice, no deprivation. I also mentioned that you will eat slower because I find that if people eat slower and put the fork down after each and every bite, they experience more pleasure from less and less and less food. And there's that, like a 20-minute delay of fullness. So if we're eating fast, then all of a sudden we're stuffed. We can't move. If you eat slower, then we get that feedback, that automatic feedback.
You allow
So
it to come through.
you never eat to the point of being full, just when the hunger ceases. And so it's moderation, it's slowing it down. If it's sipping water, a glass of wine, whatever, slow it down and you actually experience. So you don't need, why would you eat? I see people taking a handful of peanuts. I take one at a time, and I savor it. And so I don't have to, I eat very little. I'm also hypothyroid, so I can't, or I'd be bigger than a house. and I have to tell you, I'm a bargain person. So if the cinnamon rolls are buy one, get one free, I saw myself, I would still buy them, but I couldn't eat them because my mind was so programmed from the hypnosis I did with others that I couldn't, they were going to waste. Yeah.
Wow.
And I realized, so I would scrape off the frosting, and then I knew they were deep fried, I'd scrape that off. And I realized I really like cinnamon. So I just eat a lot of cinnamon. Forget the rolls. Just eat cinnamon.
So this is very interesting, though. How long do you have to go through this process in order for it to stick?
Well, you know what? This is what I'm one and done. I am one and done. Now, I will say with smoking, I'm guessing about 85% of the people I see quit after one session. But I have people come in, bring their phones, know how to use them, and record it because, like multiplication tables, the repetition is crucial. But it's more crucial for weight loss because you know what? I can live without that pack of cigarettes. I can live, but you can't live without food. So weight is a bigger challenge. Eating is a bigger challenge because I got to deal with, as we perceive it, the enemy every day. You know what I mean? The cigarettes I can just put aside.
Okay.
So the challenge is constantly there. So I tape it to make it more economical for you. You don't have to depend on me every day. You can't overdose. You can play it 5 times a day. If you're retired and you got the time, you're going to be in a Zen state all day. But
Right.
Anyway, the repetition is crucial. Now, I will say this. This is important. With weight, it's usually more complicated than smoking. Smoking is just a nasty habit. With weight, there are often psychological ramifications. For example, a lot of people eat if they've been raped.
So
Because they want to be protected with the fat. You know what I'm saying?
There's that
Psychological
aspect of it too, and
issues.
we're going to continue on that conversation on our next segment.
I gotta wait
You
again.
got to wait again,
Wait
Edie.
again.
I'm sorry, Edie. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And what if somebody asks you how your gut's doing? What's going to be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation, chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish? Remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut. If we can improve your gut, many of these issues can help you to respond quite favorably to what you're trying to take advantage of. So remember, we can take care of that at Rose Pharmacy, giving you these gut bundles and helping you to get on board with your goals for a healthy lifestyle. We will see you on the other side of the break with Miss Edie Raether.
More of the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
One more really warm day on the way as we close out the work week. Upper 80s to near 90 this afternoon with a partly cloudy sky, and we'll have to keep an eye out for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, 1 or 2 of those, as we go into our Friday evening. Weekend weather does start to change a little bit. Outdoor plans will be tough for Saturday and Sunday with scattered showers and a pop-up thunderstorm possible really at any point throughout the day, each day, and high temperatures will tumble a little bit in the upper 70s to near 80. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here Here's your WSIC community calendar. Thursday is opening night for Langtree Live. This free concert series begins a 17-week summertime run. Event start time is 6:30 p.m. with music from U2 tribute band Rattle and Hum beginning at 7. Grab your chairs and we will see you at Langtree in Mooresville on Thursday. Mark and Maggie O'Connor return to the Kane Center for the Arts Friday for a special performance in support of their new album, Life After Life. The upcoming album reveals the pair's most sincere and deeply personal work yet. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. with a showtime at 7:30. For more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Come celebrate May the 4th this Saturday at Ghostface Brewing Social District in Mooresville. There will be Star Wars-themed cosplay, memorabilia for sale, vendors, and themed music by the Langtree Charter Jazz Band. May the 4th be with you on Saturday at Ghostface. Friday and Saturday at Xenax Dragway in Concord is the Breakaway Music Festival Another World 2024. The festival begins at 4 p.m. on Friday and at 3 p.m. on Saturday with performances by Excision, Nightmare, Of the Trees, Sudden Death, Zomboy, and more. Details at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Community Singers of Lake Norman present Smokin' to a Motown Beat, a choral presentation of the sounds of Motown and rock and roll. Take a musical journey back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s with hits by the Supremes, the Four Tops, Stevie Wonder, Elvis, and more. The concert features highlights from Broadway shows Motown the Musical and Smokey Joe's Cafe, along with the Mooresville High School Honors Chorus. See you at the Mooresville Performing Arts Centers on May 5th. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Call now to speak with Dr. Nicole Eastman at 844-STUDIO-4. It's The L Show on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Hello, hello, all. We are back with The L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. If someone asks you, how's your gut? What would be your answer? Are you suffering from inflammation, chronic bowel issues, bloating, feeling sluggish? Remember that everything begins and ends with a healthy gut, and the effectiveness of any therapy that you may be on is linked to how well your gut is performing. If we can improve your gut, many of these issues that you think you can do nothing about on your own can respond favorably. So take advantage of one of Rose Pharmacy's gut bundles that we can tailor specifically to your needs, because our goal is to help you get and stay on track with a much better quality of life. And with Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle of the supportive supplements that we offer. And very few companies can say that. Mention that you heard about Fixing Your Gut on the L Show or WSSC News, and we're going to give you 10% off of your purchase. Remember to feel free to call into the studio. This is our last segment with Miss Edie Raether. A great time for you to call in and ask questions of her. So we left off with the weight loss piece, and we talked about how it is complex. And you had mentioned there is a psychological piece, too, that you have to consider when we're talking about how many times do you see people, right?
Yeah.
So continue on where we were.
If it's weight loss, and it can involve, if it's just a bad habit, I can do one and done. You tape it, play it at home. But with weight loss, there's often a control issue. There's often the fact that what is it? 1 out of 4 women are raped. I think that's the statistic now. So we're talking about, and if you're overweight, that statistic is a good high percent. And so what we do is unconsciously eat so that we're not real sexy, so that we're not attacked. Because the body's, the brain's mission in life is to keep us safe. It's survival. And so it is very complex. And so that often gets into a couple more sessions. It can.
How long are the sessions typically?
Generally, I allow an hour and a half for the first session. And because I want to do the intake, and then I do it right away. I don't bring you back another week before I do it. I do it all in the first session. And then if there is a follow-up, then they're usually an hour each. Yeah.
Gotcha. So one thing that we mentioned in the last segment, and we're going to actually try to do here, is just a short demonstration. Now, let me say this. If anyone is driving, like this is not to be done for anybody who is in your car driving, anyone who is operating any heavy machinery or anything else that you need to pay attention to. Okay. And if you don't, it could cause harm. So this is just a short little demonstration that she is going to do with me here in the studio for those of you who are watching and also for those of you who are listening. But again, do not do this while you are driving. Okay. So we're going to have Bill cue the music in just a second. So Edie, tell us what we need to do. Do we just
You know what? And I'm going to just do a few seconds of induction so you know that it's
Okay.
just relaxation. And then I'm going to do just a few suggestions, just so you get a taste of it. And it takes away that, some of the myths about it being, and that's the other thing. People think they're going to be out of control. I'm not going to let you control my mind. No, 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 no. This gives you more control in your entire life. I am not taking control. I am just amplifying your intentions to manifest your desires, your dreams, and what you deserve in life. I don't take anything away. If I said something like, take off all your clothes unconsciously, you're not going to do it. And now it gets into a whole new session. I might say you're getting hotter and hotter. But you know what? I'm not evil. I've been doing this 50 years. I got a pretty good reputation. You're in good hands.
Well, okay, so this is suggestion for weight loss, okay?
We'll
So
do it for
let's,
weight.
Let's do it for that since that's the hot topic. We're going to do it for weight loss, and I think that would be interesting for folks. So when does Bill need to cue this music?
Now.
Bill, cue that music.
And while he's cueing it, I want to say that, remember, the subconscious doesn't separate the do's from the do nots. So if you say, I will not eat that donut, the subconscious only gets the general message, donut, and you'll eat it.
Okay.
So remember that your suggestions always have to be positive. And I usually play binaural beats in the background.
Okay.
Because it helps get into that alpha state. Okay, Nicole, I want you to just get into a relaxed, comfortable position, whatever is comfortable for you. Just take a few deep breaths. Slowly let your eyelids close if you haven't already done so. And just allow yourself to turn inward and pay attention to your breathing as you inhale and as you exhale. And each time you exhale, you just hear the words, I can be calm and I can be relaxed. And with every breath out, I want you to feel yourself expelling, exhaling, getting rid of all cares, all tensions, all anxieties, getting rid of all of the negative thoughts and feelings that keep you from knowing your real self. And in the empty space now provided, I want you to breathe in the essence of love, hope, change, power, mastery, and control. Feel the peace. And then I just go into the suggestions. Nicole, you will find yourself no longer wanting, needing, or even desiring those foods that are high in calories and the simple carbohydrates. But rather, you see yourself choosing, wanting, desiring fruits, the vegetables of your choice. You see yourself exercising every day, not because you have to, but because you want to experience the joy, the exhilaration, the mental alertness, the spiritual integration, and know that it is so. Do you get a feeling of it?
Yes.
How can this be bad for you? There's no negative side effects. The worst that can happen, and it's not bad, you'll lose the stress in your life.
That's amazing.
It'll reduce the anxiety. I had somebody that was so depressed, the mother canceled 3 times. She couldn't get her daughter out of bed. She finally got her in. 2 sessions. She's got a job at Lowe's. Happy as can be. 2 sessions, and the depression is gone without medications that have bad side effects.
Well, the interesting part here is that I am going to replay this episode when I get home. And I'm going to report back to everyone listening how I'm doing. Because that really was. I like
It's
the
so
You know, it is relaxing, and it's not it's not scary. Again, I always thought about the pendulum.
Pleasant.
I always thought about this being something that people could take advantage of. You know, this always has been in my head, but I've of course never
Oh,
experienced
they
it.
can. Hitler was a great hypnotist,
Okay, yeah,
but he's evil. The
right.
difference is the practitioner's got to be coming from a place of love and
Mm.
service. And I am.
So how long have you said 50 years?
I've been doing it
You've been
exactly
doing this
50
50 years.
years. Yeah.
And has it all been in Lake Norman?
No, I was in Wisconsin as a psychotherapist in private practice for many years. I moved to the Raleigh area, I think 1997, and here about 10 years.
Okay.
15. Yeah.
Okay. So this was absolutely amazing. And I think it's important for people to understand that, you know, there are different ways to deal with different things. It doesn't always have to be medicine. It could be behaviors. It could be things like what we just experienced. And Edie is her energy is amazing. I wish you could, I'm sure people could feel it through
I
the,
hope so.
what they're seeing and what they're hearing. But we love having her on the show. And I hate that our show is being cut short. Well,
Again?
it's not being cut short, but we're running out of our time, right?
Yeah.
So I hate that, but of course we're going to have you back on the show again. So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you're taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure you take advantage of our consultation services, where we can help you safely solve that issue. And the gut, guys, it's the most important thing going on in your system. The effectiveness of any therapy that you are on is linked to how well your gut is performing. We have gut bundles at Rose Pharmacy that you could take advantage of. We could tailor them specifically to you, and we can get you on track to a much better quality of life. And there's a guarantee of what is in each and every supplement that we offer. If you mention that you heard about our gut supplements on the L Show or WSIC News, we're going to give you 10% off of your purchase. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today with this week's segment of the L Show. Edie, I want to give you a few minutes. I actually want to give you a full minute here. If you could kind of tell us, where can people find out more about you, find out more about your practice, where they can reach out to you, kind of let us know so we can get this on the radio.
The shortened version is braintrainer.expert, but it seems to take you to different places. But Lake Norman Hypnotherapy and Coaching Center.com will take you to that website. My speaking site, if you want to learn more about me and other aspects, is edierather.com. And if you care about kids, if you've got kids, I apply a lot of these mind-empowering methods in a children's program, I Believe I Can Fly. That's at wingsforwishes.com. The TED Talk there will reveal all of the magic and neuroscience that's integrated in my children's program. So if we wire kids at the right time with the right message in the right way, we'll make a difference in the way the world thinks, one child at a time. So we don't want to forget our kids as we climb our own ladder to success.
I love that.
And my number is, feel free to call,
Yes.
704-658-8997, or just my name, edie@raether.com. All of it's on one of those sites.
Thank you so much, Edie. I am your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, pharmacist and owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary here in Cornelius. For those of you who missed any part of this show or any of our previous shows, you can find them on WSIC News, or you can watch by following them on Facebook. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are on X. Remember, ladies, to block off that 3 to 4 p.m. time slot every Friday for the L Show, where we want this to be our happy hour. We're wrapping up a very busy week together on a very uplifting note. See you next time.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7, WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Shore.